Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. We got Fed Now, BlackRock and Credit Suisse. Oh my goodness. Bank of America, Signature Bank, Coinbase. They headed overseas. We're going to talk about it. We got Ripple partner news here. We got Ripple hiring. Good Lord Almighty. XRP, technical analysis and near-term outlook, but what about double triangles and diamond patterns? Are they still relevant? We're going to find out today. And Ethereum is next? Hey, it's not a question. Ethereum is next. Somebody wrote a beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $1.22 trillion market cap for crypto. It's up 3.5%. Good morning, everybody. Bitcoin now 27,500 plus. It's up 36.6% on a 7-day. 7-day is 28.2% for Ethereum, coming in at 1,800 plus. Tether market cap is 76.3 billion plus. We'll keep an eye on it. XRP right now, 38 cents. It's up 1.9% in the 24-hour and 3.2 in the 7-day. When you just look at those comparisons, you got to giggle a little. But for me, it makes sense. You know, that's what I can tell you. This is linked to, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, they have some incredible offerings like Ripple, Samba Nova, artificial intelligence, AI, baby. Yeah. And I know everybody in the audience loves it, so check it out. And Cerebras is AI as well. But you can still get linked to, remember, that's like land in Manhattan. There's only going to be so much of it. So if you're going to get linked to, I would be getting it. Don't forget about the ATS system they're getting ready to do. So lots going on here on the platform. Make sure you check out Uphold, by the way, and so many other incredible offers, and PolySign. See, you never know. PolySign's not on there right now, so keep an eye out. If you're going to get it, you better get it. This is a follow-up piece right here really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. I asked the question, why is the Federal Reserve note no longer showing on the U.S. debt clock, and now the U.S. Treasury note is showing in its place? Anyone? Anyone? Well, what's interesting is that it's been over 117,000 people see this thing, and this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about this right here is what used to be on the platform, Federal Reserve monetary base, and this is what's showing currently on the platform now, is the U.S. Treasury dollars now. Now, I did find out a little bit of information, just, I've emailed the gentleman or woman or man, group of people, whoever run this .org site. It is a private site. They use government feeds for the information that they show, but they are not a government agency or entity at all. So we're waiting to hear back on that, but I do not know the answer, but we hope to hear from them soon about what is informing them to make those changes. And the $0 reference in the dollar to oil, dollar gold, dollar silver ratio as well. Trying to get answers there. So we'll keep you up to date. Shout out to Tim for this one about the Fed Now set to launch in July. What we're going to talk about in this is understanding how CBDCs or stablecoins may fit in. We know Jerome Powell, just to highlight for those that have missed it, had said that Fed Now is coming very, very soon. It's going to launch in July of this year. But as for CBDCs, they are still a ways off. They reiterate that there is a lot of work to be done, and that is not ready now. And with the Fed Now system, they don't believe they need to be in a hurry to have that be ready now either. Now, as it remarked to stable coins, it says, as for the effect on private cryptocurrency with the launching of something like Fed Now, some have questioned whether Fed Now could affect the efforts by stablecoin companies to reach more Americans. While stablecoins continue to appeal to crypto natives, it may be harder to convince others to make the leap for everyday payments. And that statement's really based on the understanding of what we just saw with Circle losing its peg over last weekend. And then obviously they said that they would honor it, make anyone whole that lost out of their own personal holdings, which was certainly respectable. But there are questions about how this will be when it gets to a place where everything is launched, like FedNow? Will they open that up to incorporate stablecoin use across that? That's going to take some legislation, I would think. So we'll keep an eye on it. But look at what else is happening during the downgradings, the interest rate raising, and now the collapse of these banks. And we see $10 trillion asset manager BlackRock to bid for Credit Suisse over its recent woes. And it doesn't stop there. Let's keep an eye on it. New York State regulators didn't shut down Signature Bank, we're talking about now, because of the crypto firm clients. And what she says here is this. Let's get to this right here.
Ask, why weren't other things done perhaps to save Signature Bank, like what's being done with First Republic? I think those are valid questions to raise. But I don't think, you close down a bank because of a policy reason. You do because its risk management or its financial picture is unsafe and unsound. And it seems to me that at that point in time, a good argument can be made that it was unsafe or unsound because it lacked cash.
Just a good old-fashioned it lacked cash. Now, this flies in the face of what Barney Frank had said about Signature Bank, right? Barney Frank had said that there was no insolvency, and Barney Frank, political insider, that is quite an interesting thing here. But nevertheless, with that being said, it is now being rumored that Bank of America is going to buy Signature Bank. Shout out to Michael Branch for this one. Give him a follow. And this may happen on Monday. A lesson: until we can protect uninsured deposits, the cost of capital is going to rise for smaller banks, pushing them to merge or be acquired by the SIBs. And listen, this is really what we're talking about here. This is what we've said. We're seeing this drive to just really kill banking at this point, right? You have to wonder if this is really about something much bigger than crypto going on here, but crypto being used as the reason to do all of this. I tell you. Now, with that, let's change gears, because Coinbase has reportedly been in talks with institutional investors about opening up an overseas cryptocurrency exchange. Can you blame them? I read the article. You don't need to go very far here, but I'll tell you something before we get out of here today. I have to wonder now, are they not only doing this because of the current climate in cryptocurrency and now with crypto and finance, right, and banking relationships, but there's also another dynamic going on here, isn't it? And it's this. It's Ethereum. And Joseph Lubin just praising Gary Gensler the other day, calling him a shining knight for decentralization. That's what he said. But what you have to ask yourself, what if ETH is the Trojan horse of crypto and the New York's Attorney General determines that ETH is a security? Who will fight the Attorney General in court? Now, I've gotten on the list for John Deaton's class action because I understand that we need to fight the regulator more than we need to fight Ethereum at this point. But listen to this discussion here where we talked about this last week with Meta lawman James Murphy, who brought it up. And I tell you something, it was a great conversation. He said, essentially, it looks like, it would appear that they went after KuCoin from the Attorney General's office because they don't believe KuCoin will show up from the Seychelles Islands to defend the fact that Ethereum is being alleged as a security. Well, then who shows up? John Deaton, representing the people in his class action, which is great. But as I stated here, is Vitalik Buterin going to show up? Is Joseph Lubin going to show up? Consensus? Ethereum Foundation? What would an attorney do the moment they saw those people in that building?
Who shows up? Like, to your point, outside of John Deaton, I mean, is it Consensus? Is it Joe Lubin? Like, who is actually going to show up? Is it people from the Ethereum Foundation that are going to show up? Because if they do, now they're representing it, and that even makes more to the point that it's actually a security because you're there. So it's...
Well, Brad, that's a fantastic point. Certainly occurred to me.
And there you have it. It occurred to him too. It's occurring to everybody. I tell you, it is troubling to think of these things and what could really take place here. All right, now let's keep this thing moving because, you have to think about Coinbase thinking about moving overseas and knowing that they have Ethereum, a ton of ERC20 tokens. What would the implications be to Coinbase? Would they be just as quick to delist Ethereum just as they were XRP, knowing what's going on in New York right now? Ripple partners with an invest in Singaporean fund to accelerate Web3. Not a lot to learn from this. They did not disclose the amount of the investment, but they did invest in Blockchain Founders Fund in Singapore. We'll keep you up to date on anything else that comes from that. Just wanted to make sure you're aware of it. But this is the thing that really blows my mind this morning here. Ripple is hiring. There are 71 job positions available in various departments at Ripple, focusing on global operations and engineering. 71. And if business is this good during a lawsuit, just imagine it afterwards. Right? True to the point. And what would price look like afterwards? Shout out to Dark Defender, shout out to Eggrag Crypto, Crypto Bull 2020, and so many others, Coins Kid, and so many other people that we use for references out here. Blockchain Backer even. Shout out to all of them that do this work. It is really, really important work. Dark Defender says here, shared back in January 26th, it's still looking the same to him. And essentially saying here, we're waiting for a decision for Judge Torres in silence. And that really shows the first wave at 382, the third wave at $22. March 31st is the explosion point and the light question mark. And then we have the double triangle here, which is this shaded triangle and the larger one just outside of it. XRP apparently still respecting the smaller triangle. XRP has to break out to the upside and retest it for a bullish continuation. Otherwise, you're going to see either stagnant continuation or some kind of fall off in price and then the pattern fail in some way, right? But then there is the diamond pattern, which we saw the other day, which apparently Eggrag Crypto reminds us is still intact. Now that one excites me because if that one gets up and going, it looks like we could see one of those parabolic moves to above $9, between $9 and $10. Now that would be interesting. I would love to see that for all of us, right? But the reality is we don't know what will happen. That's the thing that excites me about being in this space, That's what I love about it, and we're going to watch it. And I do believe that a ruling in this case will help inform what is going to happen to price and, more importantly, adoption of this technology. Because at the end of the day, that is what this is about. I absolutely am here. I'm unabashed. I am here to try to get as wealthy as I can and provide as much information for everyone else to be able to sort through to figure out what they feel is important for themselves. Because this is not financial advice. This is just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.